What's going on, guys? It's Tetrosphere, and we have the finals from the Galaxy Buster 3v3 case tournament that happened over the weekend for the 2025 Mega Pack. Now, question of the day, the final one for this series. What I want to know down below is, what is the furthest you have ever traveled for an event? You know, it could be a regional, and I mean a YuGiOh event. I don't want to know about some freaking concert you went to back in 09. What I want to hear about is how far you traveled to go play YuGiOh. It could be a regional, it could be a YCS, it could be because you got a buddy who lives out in Seattle and you want to just hang out with him for a long weekend and play some locals. I don't know. Tell me below, how far have you traveled to play YuGiOh? With that out of the way, let's jump into the match. Now, I do not know the name of our player on the left. I just know that he is on Sam's team. And on the right, we have Devin D. Davis, who was attempting to redeem himself after getting absolutely pantsed by Khalil in the semifinals. Luckily, his team was able to pull ahead, win it out, and to get them into the finals. Let's go ahead and jump on into the match with all that out of the way. A little far there. Where are we at? Okay, there's the hand. Oh, they pretty much got started right away. All right. Looks like it is Mitsurugi on the left. There's the fist bump. Let's get it started. First action, Ketu Dracotail. Now we have a pretty decent hand for interacting with this board because we do have Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring to get things started. Looks like we respond with the field spell of the Artmage. Let's get a more serious description of what's going on here. Where are we at? Card cluster. In the meantime, Graph Layer hits the board. Alright, so the field spell does give him an extra normal, and it also allows him to discard any spell or trap, declare an Artmage monster card name that is not among the monster cards you control or already been declared, and then add from deck to hand. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except Artmage monsters, Medius the Pure, or from the extra deck. So, obviously, we grab our Medius the Pure, Graph Layer, etc., and we do go ahead and assemble Graph Layer, Medius the Pure, and Artmage Power Patron. And it would seem that we are using the effect once again to grab, I believe this is Littera. Oh, no, that's Finmel. That is Finmel. What does Finmel do? Finmel gives level 6 or lower Artmage monsters targeting protection. And it is a Dark Ruler no more if you control 3 different monster types on a quick effect. Now we have Littera. Looks like it lets you add a Artmage card from deck to hand with its special summon effect. And on a quick effect, you can special summon an Artmage monster from hand or grave except itself, then return it from field to hand. So we've assembled basically the full gambit of the Artmage school. We're going to pass it on over to our opponent here, who is going to go first action Habakiri. And we're going to respond with what appears to be the Artmage Trap. Let's get some more information on this. That is Artmage Pact Awakening, special summon an Artmage or Medius the Pure from the deck. Also, your effects that include an effect that would fusion summon a fusion monster cannot be negated. Or just the activation. Activation of cards and effects. And okay, so it's branded Lost, but for the Artmage. And we are going to go ahead and use this opportunity as well to perform the fusion summon with the Artmage Power Patron into our Diactorus. This is the one. This is the one that's an Omni Negate while you control 3 or different types. So it looks like on the side of our friend here on the left, we did go ahead and special Saji, tribute Saji, use its effect. Unfortunately, I was reading Artmage, so I didn't catch whether or not that resolved. Regardless, it looks like we have prayers for follow-up, tributing the Habakiri. Prayers is going to go ahead and add Kusanagi. Now the question is, do we take the 800? Oh, we're going to special Saji, keep Kusanagi in hand. Okay, that makes sense. We haven't normaled yet, so we might as well. Oh, we didn't even trigger Saji there in the Habakiri effect, did we? Looks like we just tried to trigger it. Habakiri was tributed, so it's going to go ahead and add the Murakumo from deck to hand, and then Saji is going to add Ritual. Alright, now we're going to attempt Ritual here. And let's see, are we summoning from deck or tributing from deck? Okay, tributing from deck to summon from hand. Hitting the grave is Night Sword Serpent. And probably an Aramasa. Yeah. To grab another monster. Now what's nice here is we can actually chain block the Murakumo to prevent it from the Diactorus negation. Because Murakumo is going to hit the board. And now we're going to have, we can put Murakumo on chain link 1, Night Sword Serpent and Aramasa on the other chain links. But we're gonna blow this shit up, man. Off the effect of Aramasa, we do grab Futsu. And let's see, does Murakumo resolve here? Does that trap have a replacement effect? I'm unsure why Murakumo didn't resolve there. There's probably some other thing going on, but regardless, we're going to go ahead and go with Saji and Night Sword Serpent into a Baguska. I wonder if one of the monsters has like a protection. Let's see. Graph Layer does not. Oh, it was probably negated with Finmel. Copy that. Looks like we're discussing how something interacts. A little confused maybe about how Bagooska interacts with Diactorus. Regardless, we're able to fusion summon the Murakumo from the grave, or no, summon the Murakumo from the grave with Mitsurugi Mirror. Everyone just checking over this Diactorus. Alright, so it looks like we're searching Magatama on resolution of the tribute. And it seems like we're using Magatama tributing the Futsu. Futsu is going to revive itself, and Mirror is going to shuffle itself back into the deck. Futsu, of course, also searching a card. What was the target with Magatama? We're grabbing another Prayers here. Something... If anyone watching this can clarify exactly like why like things aren't leaving the field that seems like they should be leaving the field, let me know. Because I'm a little confused. Like Magatama there should have popped something. Alright, so now we use our normal summon, put the Kusanagi on the field. This may seem silly because we don't get its effect because of Bagooska, but it is still a body, and it also does offer protection. But we're going to go ahead and link away the Murakumo and the Kusanagi that we just summoned into a Dynamondo. Dynamondo is going to shuffle back the Habakiri. And as we learned, the Finmel does protect the level 6 or lowers from targeting. Let me see, does that field spell offer some kind of protection? No. And what's that other continuous spell? That is Vandalism Assault. Vandalism Assault does offer a replacement where you can send it to the grave instead of... But that specifically just protects the field spell. It doesn't protect everything. So I don't know why Magatama didn't pop there. I don't know why Murakumo didn't wipe the board. Well, okay, I think the quick effect Dark Ruler No More actually explained the Murakumo. We already remembered that. But I don't know why Magatama didn't pop there. So if anyone could let me know, I'm very curious. Because that's definitely lost on me. And I also don't know why the trap went to the grave. Because I'm reading the trap here. The trap doesn't seem to offer any kind of replacement. Regardless, we're going to go ahead and go into main phase 2 after clearing some bodies in battle phase. The Dynamondo and the Futsu are going to be linked off for SP Little Knight. SP is going to banish that trap. Makes sense. And we're going to go ahead and pass it back. We're going to link into our own SP Little Knight to try and out the Baguska. We're going to chain SP targeting the 2 SPs. Okay, so we have, that is, what's her face? Litera. She can summon herself and put Medius the Pure back in hand. You just have to control an Artmage card, so the field spell, of course, is going to allow this to happen. It seems like we're using the graveyard effect of the Quick Play Fusion spell. Let me just verify how that works. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your grave, target 3 Artmage cards with different names, shuffle them into the deck. Okay. So it just puts names back in the deck. Alright, we do have that set prayers, which means at any point we could potentially revive that Murakumo for a board wipe. Possibly doing that as soon as the 3 types is threatened. Oh, we could even just get the Futsu out, because then the Futsu can revive the Murakumo as well. That makes sense because surely Devin will be special summoning as this turn progresses. Especially if the goal is to out the Futsu, which has a whopping 3,400 defense. It is not... Reading Graph Layer there, which is a spell trap pop, while you can, and that is on a quick effect while you control 3 or more types. Alright, so we're going to activate prayers tributing the Habakiri so that we can search and summon. And then, of course, Habakiri will also search. So we are just going to go right for the Murakumo. We're not trying to... we're not trying to do the Futsu trick here. We'll just go ahead and add back a Habakiri, because why not? And then Habakiri, because it was tributed. We'll just add another prayers. And Litera will hit the graveyard. Effect of Graph Layer to summon itself. Chain Murakumo, forcing us to discard that Fualos. And Graph Layer hits the field, which will also allow it to set an Artmage spell from deck. And we go for whatever that is. Let's find out. That is... Alteration. Normally it would place the field spell, but because we already have the field spell, it can just add any Artmage card. Medius the Pure is going to put back an Urgula to summon itself, and then special Power Patron. And it looks like now Power Patron Artmage can go ahead and perform a fusion summon, putting Diactorus back in play. Now let's see, how large is Diactorus? Is this able to... 2,800, so it will not be able to handle the Murakumo. Oh, but it can put it in defense position. That's its ignition effect. There it is. The Diactorus puts the Murakumo in defense. And we're going to go battle phase with Graflair swinging over, and then Finmel and Diactorus go in direct. And let's see what we have here. We're going to go ahead and normal summon Power Patron, it seems. And pass it back over. Looks like we forgot to resolve SP Little Knight. We're going to go ahead and activate Mirror. No response from Devin, so Murakumo is going to hit the field. And we're going to go... Should be Chainlink 1 Murakumo and then Chainlink 2 Habakiri to search, right? We have the Finmel to negate, but we have the prayers to tribute that Murakumo, which would dodge it. Yep. Diactorus can negate the prayers, that's fine. Murakumo is still going to resolve because it was tributed for cost. We do recognize this. Habakiri is going to resolve as well on the previous chain. It's going to search. And then Murakumo is going to attempt to trigger here, also conducting a search and then summoning itself. And we have Diactorus, which can special summon Medius the Pure because it was destroyed. Adding Ritual off of Habakiri, and then Habakiri off of Murakumo. Man, this pure Mitsurugi deck really just never runs out of gas, right? And so far, it's been all Artmage on the side of Devin, not seeing any Dracotail plays. We're going to go ahead and activate Mitsurugi Ritual. And it looks like we're just going to summon Murakumo from hand, tributing Habakiri from hand. We're going to try to declare into the Medius. Seems like that goes through. Medius hits the grave. And we're clarifying that continuous spell, which, as we learned recently, protects the field spell. It also allows him to target a face-up monster he controls and make it considered an Artmage card for the sake of a fusion summon. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put the 2 Mirakumos in the grave. Dynamondo will shuffle back the field spell. And a Murakumo. And we're going to top deck that Lucius and go in for the normal summon. Attempt effect to add. It seems Devin has no cards in hand. So this Lucius add, I'm not sure what it actually represents, because Fimena does nothing on its own. Murakumo pops the Lucius, and then whatever extension we go for, the Murakumo can force the negate or discard. So yeah, I don't think this is a great spot. What are we thinking, Devin? You got one for that ass? Nope. Lucius hits the grave, Fimena in hand all by her lonesome. Seems like we don't have any follow-up, and we go ahead and pass it back over. Our friend playing Mitsurugi has an opportunity here to close this out and take game one. To my knowledge, other than that quick play spell, we're not working with any live graveyard effects on the side of Devin, so... And even if we were, we forced the discard of Fimena in that case. Looks like we're just swinging in direct with Murakumo. No way to push even further. And we can pass it back. Devin picks up Ketu, goes for Ketu, and is able to add. We're going to add Lucius. Normal Lucius. Add Fimena. What are you doing? That's not Typhon. What? Man did not go into his extra deck once last turn, let alone twice. So Medius puts Fimena back, trying to summon itself. And then, of course, on summon, it will try to summon Power Patron. This will succeed. Power Patron will hit the board, and we will go ahead and perform a fusion summon. This will get us into Diactorus. And because it was sent to grave, it can add a Artmage spell trap from the deck with a different name from the cards in the graveyard. Not sure if we already had that guy in the graveyard or not, but regardless, it seems like we were able to take game 1 for Devin. So, after a long, grindy game, holy cannoli, Batman, we are 30 minutes into this video. We do have a victor for game 1, and it was definitely hard fought. Yeesh. Alright, so it looks like Drolls and Ghost Bells coming in on the side of Devin. Definitely logical. Let's see what our friend here on the left decides is pertinent for this matchup. It's interesting because surely Dracotail is something that was on your radar. It was something you respected when building your deck. The question is, was Artmage? I see Shifter. That definitely respects both. Why is that going in the deck box? You want Shifter in your deck, my friend, I promise. You'll get there. Oh, is he sending Devin first? I do see evenly matched. I do see Harpies. Talent. But also great... Okay, Purification. Those might be what's coming out. Might be the nibs and all that. That might be what's coming out, not what's going in. Yeah, that... Okay, so that was what was coming out. Or rather, what side cards were not going in. I am curious if Joel is quite effective against the Artmage side of the deck. I know a few things add, but some things place and summon as well, so maybe not like terribly efficient. Alright, decks have been shuffled. We are cutting. And let's get it on and popping. Game 2 of the final round of our case tournament underway. Will Devin be successful? Will he secure a 2-0 victory? Or will our friend on the left force a Game 3? Let us find out. We do have Mitsurugi Prayers likely in the draw phase. Now, unfortunately, it seems we did not have a tribute. But we are able to add that Habakiri and, at least for the time being, prevent a potential Jolan Lockbird from stymieing our plays. Oh, we have Talent, Imperm, Ash, and Night Sword Serpent. We're going to go ahead and put the Night Sword Serpent in face-down defense position. Activate Habakiri, which is responded to with Thualos. So the purpose of setting the Night Sword Serpent here is because you can tribute it with the Habakiri, which I do believe will trigger its effect to summon itself back, so you essentially just get the whole kit caboodle for free. Saji's going to go ahead and search Ritual, and the Night Sword Serpent is going to get right back on the field there. So unfortunately, it does use your normal summon, but you were able to maintain card advantage. Now, given, though, that we're under Fualos, summoning from deck with the Ritual is not going to be advised. And, oh, we talent probably to look at hand, but this is responded to with Phimena, who's just going to send that whole hand away. And then Arthalion's going to try and put that all right back. Ketu was shuffled back. Rahu being set by the other Phimena. And it looks like it was Phimena, an Artmage card, and Ghost Bell. Rahu being set by the effect of Phimena. Yeah, talent to hand rip against Dracotail, unfortunately, can be punished pretty hard, because Phimena is just so good at dodging that, especially if your hand's full of monsters, as Devin's was. So that is a tad unfortunate. So the question is, do we allow another draw? It seems like we do. We're going to go ahead and tribute the Habakiri in the hand. No, we're going to summon the Habakiri from hand. Okay. So we're not going to be giving any more Fualos draws here, at least for the time. We're going to tribute that Kusanagi. And Aramasa. This is going to put Ritual back and search a monster. I'm going to go ahead and add Murakumo. Ritual is back in the hand. We do have Ash and Imperm to set up defenses. Yeah, you added that back to hand. You're good there. Now the question is, do we do anything with these bodies? Do we give another draw? Giving a draw is definitely so dangerous against the Dracotail strategy, just because the more monsters they have in hand, the more, ingredients they have to work with for their fusion soup, and it is just something that could absolutely spell disaster. Fualos is so strong in Dracotail. We do go for it. We're going to summon from deck. Murakumo blows up the Arthalion, and Habakiri is going to conduct a search. And also, of course, summon itself. Okay, so we do add the Great Purification. Definitely a phenomenal trap here, especially in this matchup, because it can negate one of the fusion spells alongside that Ash, which can negate one of the other fusion spells. So we do have an answer for both Ketu and Rahu, and we have an Imperm to answer something like a Malulu or a Lucius. We are giving a third draw. We are definitely not afraid of no ghosts. We're going to go ahead and go into that Baguska and pass it over. So we have Ash, Imperm, Purification, Baguska. Let's see if the draws are enough here. We are going to go ahead and Ash the Rahu. Man does have a lot of ways to fuse, though. We have the Phimena, which we could negate with Great Purification. Ooh, Devin not even wanting to try, just wants to go right to game 3. Okay, so yeah, definitely the Great Purification was enough there, and it seems like pushing into that Fulos paid off. That is a hard setup for Dracotail to push through if it only has the 2 fusion methods. Really unfortunate that you're able to draw so many cards but not see the ones you needed. Regardless, I think for the sake of just, not forcing the issue, this is, of course, top cut, so the end of round procedures are a little bit different. There won't be a double loss, but you don't want to go into turns, especially against a deck like Mitsurugi, which can do so well over time. Not that Dracotail can't, but Mitsurugi, I think, just has a bit more like power plays as far as like blowing up the whole board, whereas Dracotail is more like one-for-one interactions. So it's like really easy for Murakumo to blow up the board, push for big damage, and then, when you're in turns, that can be enough to win the game. So we don't want to go into time here. I think Devin wisely just decided to call it. No point trying to play through that Omni if you don't think there's a chance anyway. And plus now we have the advantage of the side deck. It looks like cards like Teekboo, which is massive against a deck of all reptiles, D-Barrier. I saw a few other traps, but not exactly able to make out what they were. So, we do have a game 3. And of course, Devin will have the advantage of choosing to go first if he so desires. However, Dracotail, very competent into boards. One of my favorite things about the deck is its going first, going second flexibility. I do think that there is a chance Devin forces, or not forces, but sends his opponent first, but we'll find out. Alright, so we did choose first, and we're starting things off with Rahu. And now it looks like the only hand trap... Okay, we have Imperm and Nib. So we're using Lucius from deck and Urgula from hand to make Gulamel first action. Okay, so now we're just going to go Lucius and Urgula to set. We're going to set a Ketu and a Flame. Flame definitely very powerful in this matchup. And it looks like we already have Horn in hand as well. We're going to try and put Urgula back, add Lucius to hand. This is fine. Lucius is going to normal summon. Attempt to search. No Imperm here. Probably saving that for the Arthalion. Phimena is added to hand. We're going to go ahead and go for Ketu for another add. We already have Malulu, so adding a Pan here could be absolutely massive. Yeah, because we have a Negate, a Pop. It might be the case that we're just trying to save this for the opponent's turn rather than overextend. Yeah, so we're just going with the traps and our interactions from hand plus the Gulamel. That's likely going to be met with a first action imperm, but no, we're going to go ahead and go with what? I don't know what that is. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know that card. It looks, is that an alt art Pot of Extravagance? Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. What on God's green earth am I looking at? But yeah, it's Pot of Extravagance. It's the QCR alt art. Banishing 6 face down randomly. Stimming with our right hand, and probably... I can't imagine you interact with this, man. You save the flame for the ritual. I feel like you just have to. Oh, we did lose an SP Little Knight. Couldn't quite make out the others. Yeah. Yeah, extrap's fine. We're having an Ash of our own. Oh no, holding the trap just for it to get likely. Was that other card Bell? Oh, fudge. That's crazy. So we have Ash and Bell for both traps. Is that Wosu in hand as well? We're going to go first action Habakiri. Man, both traps reduced to freaking nothing. That is unfortunate. Adding or summoning and then tributing Saji. Saji effect to add is fine. Man, we have like 7 freaking cards in here. We're gonna go Ritual, and then we're not gonna let this go through. The flame is going to be negated by Ash Blossom. Yep. This is a pretty bad scenario for Devin. We do still have the Phimena with Malulu and Pan. So we might be able to survive the turn. Tribute Kusanagi and Aramasa. Summon Murakumo. And we've got some chain links here. Kusanagi, of course, adding back the ritual, and then Aramasa adding a monster of our choice. The other Murakumo's fine here. Murakumo blows the board up. So now we have the tail. That is going to get negated by Bell. And then we have Phimena. The Phimena is likely going to put us pretty low on resources because Murakumo can, of course, force a discard. We're going to go Ritual to summon from deck now, attributing the Murakumo that's on the field. We're going to make a Habakiri. Murakumo is going to summon itself and search. I think Magatama is probably a solid choice. Just a good way to out something that's problematic. Of course. We have so many cards in hand. And here is Phimena. We do force the discard. And we're going to go ahead and fuse the Malulu and the Pan into an Arthalion. We have Arthalion bouncing. It can bounce too. And it looks like we're going to go for the Artmage and the Fimena. And then Malulu is going to negate, Pan is going to destroy, and Gulamel is going to attempt to revive itself. There is a world where we Ghost Bell here, but I think you probably just save it for the trap. Especially because you don't know what that trap is, so it could be Sting, which is like very strong interaction against your deck. Ketu is set, and Murakumo is, I'm guessing, popped. Okay. And then that would mean Habakiri is negated. So Devin's monsters are not losing 800 attack. We do still have the Wosu to tribute the Gulamel inherently. And also, if I'm not mistaken, that that Magatama can also just perform a ritual summon, right? Okay, but we're going for Wosu regardless. Yeah, Magatama is also just another way to perform a ritual summon, but we don't even need to do that. We're going to go ahead and go with the Wosu, tributing Habakiri from hand and the Gulamel on the field. Habakiri is then going to trigger here to add. We're going to go ahead and add prayers, which I do believe we have not even used prayers yet, right? Because Extrav is how we opened our plays up. Insane. That is so insane. We're crazy. And you can, if you wanted to, you could even use Magatama to tribute the Wosu, summon the Murakumo from hand, and then Wosu will just add itself back to hand because it was tributed. You can prayers revive the other Murakumo from grave. Oh my goodness, we have so much. We have so much to work with. We know every card in hand, so we know there's no hand traps online. The flip side, though, is Devin does have an absolutely huge amount of follow-up. We do have both Ketu and Rahu set, so we do need... Excuse me, we do need a strategy that can win now and or establish a board that those spells can't push through. There's the trap, which we are going to go spell. And we're going to pass turn, so I'm curious what our thought process was here. But yeah, we are just going to go in. We're going to tempt the Rahu. We might have thought it was... So I'm guessing we didn't think we had a way to push for game, which I probably agree with. And then we just wanted to establish a ton of points of interaction instead. So that's why we have like the Imperm set, the Magatama sets, the Prayer set. So we have multiple ways to get into Murakumo blowing the board up. And then we can win through that. We're going to chain Imperm targeting the Gulamel, which is good because it also is going to keep that spell there negated. The good news is, even though Urgla doesn't target, we do still, like, he can't pop both. We have Magatama and we have Prayer set, so one of them will still get us into the Murakumo pop. But we do decide to just chain it here anyway, tributing the Habakiri. We're going to go ahead and search another Habakiri with prayers, and then take 800 damage and summon, I would think, Murakumo. Yep. So the Magatama here is going to get popped. We have set a Rahu there, which Rahu is how we open our plays up, so that's not online. Murakumo is going to blow the board up. Habakiri is going to revive itself because it was tributed while also conducting a search. And then Pan is going to trigger here because a fusion was destroyed, allowing it to summon a non-fusion Dracotail from grave. Malulu hits the field. Looks like we're attempting Urgla's effect here to bottom deck itself and put a Spellcaster Dracotail back in the hand. Prayers was added off of Habakiri, just confirming that. I'm not sure I understand why that Artmage spell was put in the graveyard. Oh, Murakumo was changed to try to negate, so it was discarded. Okay. Malulu is activated there to perform a fusion summon. Looks like we're using 5 mana from hand and Malulu on field. That is a dragon and a spellcaster, so it could make something like the Mysterion or Secretarian, which Secretarian could allow us to extend pretty far here. But also, Malulu can only make a Dracotail. It can't make anything, actually. Unlike Phimena, who can make anything. Oh, any dragon or spellcaster, I mean to say. Yeah, so that is Secretarian hitting the field. Just to be perfectly clear, this is not a legal play. Malulu can only perform a fusion summon of a Dracotail monster. It cannot make any spellcaster or dragon like Phimena can. And we know it was Malulu's effect, not Phimena's, because Malulu and Phimena were the only monsters that were sent to the grave. which if I meant as this card effect, obviously does not allow her to be part of the fusion summon. Regardless, we have Nibiru, so did it matter? I'm leaning no. Wosu returning to the hand because it was tributed. And we're going to go ahead and add Mirror. That's crazy. Not crazy as in like unexpected, but like that's going to probably seal the deal here. Like that's like a strong play. Oh, I think he just scoops it. Yep, that's it. That's the match. I don't know if maybe it was just the other teammates got it or if he just saw that there was no winning. But, yeah, that's the end of the video. Oh, excuse me. I'm not bored. I'm doing this first thing in the morning because I wanted to get it out of the way. And I've only had one coffee, so I'm a little sleepy. But I do appreciate you guys watching that video. Definitely a grindy match, man. Both of these engines are just so good at keeping advantage going over the course of several turns, but at the end of the day, it does seem like, at least for that game, it felt like Mitsurugi was on top of it. I do think that the team on the left here, Sam's team, is the team that ended up taking it all the way to the house. So congratulations to them on the first place finish. And as far as Devin's team over here, I guess you guys did okay as well. Shout out to the store once again, GalaxyBusterTCG. Shout out to the players for allowing me to do all this recording and commentating. It gives me great content to show all my viewers. And shout out to you guys, my viewers, for keeping the channel alive. Looking forward to the next case tournament. It will be for Doom of Dimensions. Peace.